One thing that's awesome about Europe is it gives you access to college information that you may not necessarily be thinking about currently, but it's something that you need to put on your radar. And so today we have Mr. Danny Barrow, which is the Vice President and the Admissions Director for LSU, and he's going to give you some information as it pertains to LSU and everything that you need to know and begin thinking about for your post-secondary plans. So at this time, if you can give a warm welcome to Mr. Danny Barrow.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. Good morning. I am always excited to meet with high school students, particularly here at Liberty. I'm originally from New York City, and I have now worked at 5 different universities across the country, and this is one of the best high schools in the world. And I know I did not necessarily think of that when I was in school, at my high school. But now as the Assistant Vice President at LSU, I get to travel the entire world representing LSU to students just like yourself. The reason why it's only a privilege and an honor to be with students is especially in high school, and to kind of talk about the high school process, the college process, is the fact that I'm the first person in my family to go to college. When I was a junior, and I know in front of me I have the juniors and the freshmen and sophomores, or virtual today. When I was a junior in high school, my mom had already stopped working, and there was more, and I'll just use the word chaos at home. And at that point, as a freshman and sophomore, I was telling everybody I was going to college. And as a junior, 1 month from now, in January, is when I started telling people I'm not. Fortunately, to make this story short, Miss Carr, who was my freshman year biology teacher, is the reason why you see me standing here today. Not my family, but a teacher in my high school. And the high school, to be honest, I hated. Today, I'm able to support my family, particularly my mom. I have a daughter, I have a wife, and to say it looks nothing like when I was my daughter's age. And I absolutely contribute all of the things that I have and the people in my life today and the experiences to the decision that I made at the end of my junior year, going into my senior year, to say, I'm going to take this biggest leap of faith and try to go to college. My college journey was not a straight line. I struggled significantly. The first 3 weeks of my college education, all of my mom and I's bank accounts were frozen. I had zero money, zero. Literally, I began that day when everything got frozen, probably with less than $5 in my pocket, and I had to navigate. And to say the least, I've been scrappy ever since. So I know most of you will look at me in my suit, and probably maybe initially, and maybe even still right now, be like, I'll never relate to him. No worries. It's my job to reach you. So if you don't hear anything else that I say today, just know that I believe it's my responsibility to make sure I get to see you, that you matter, and that I want you to at least have LSU as an option. This is an institution that literally is changing before your eyes. I started here, this is my 4th year at LSU, and about 4 years ago we started changing things to make sure that students, you in particular, are at the center of our decision making. Is there a, is the PowerPoint? We're working on it, I don't need it. One of the biggest images on that PowerPoint that I just wanted to share with everybody, and I got to see this as one of the reasons why my mom wasn't working, is that in 2008, there was a recession, what we call the Great Recession. Well, since then, there has been job growth all the way up until the pandemic. And one of the biggest things that that graph will show you when we get it back on is that people with college education have had the best opportunity with the job or and people with just a high school education, the amount of jobs since the Great Recession of 2008 has only declined substantially. And so, one of the biggest pieces to my life today is the fact that I have a safety net, where I'm able to pivot from career to career. So when I graduated college, did you think I was wanting to become a director of admissions? Does anybody want to become a director of admissions? Exactly. Not one single hand for those at home. No, I wanted to help people. So I became a behavioral therapist for autistic children and did applied behavioral analysis. And it wasn't until one of my mentors now sat me down, and I was making about $30,000 at the time, and said, I think I have another opportunity for you. And that's one of the main benefits of a college education, is that you get to meet people that you wouldn't necessarily get to meet. In high school, there is a process in place. It's 4 years. For those in front of me today, they're in the junior year. This is definitely, especially I think today or this week is midterm exams. Is that the midterm exam? So this is basically your halfway point of your junior year. Where you're at in this process is the fact that this is where you want to make sure that you are starting to create goals for your future. Putting a goal down on a piece of paper is such an important process for me that I have to do today every single day. I've asked you to put one goal down, which is I'm going to college. Second step would be to ensure that you finish this semester academically as strong as possible. What I mean by that is that the goal is to get more A's than B's and more B's than any other year. Particularly in the semester that is in front of you. The reason is that every college in America, this is the year that they will see from beginning to end that is going to be the most reflective of your college experience. The beautiful part about schools like LSU though is that we of course are going to take into consideration the fact that there was a pandemic that began in your junior year, that began in your sophomore year, and continued into this year. But I will tell you that the students who focus on their grades to the end of this junior year in particular, not only will have more college options, you will be able biggest challenges that ultimately happened. I thought my biggest challenge was going to college and getting accepted to college. The big challenge was how I'm going to afford college. The higher your GPA, the higher the tax scholarship is here in the state of Louisiana. But more importantly, I get to administer, and this is where the privilege comes into play, I get to administer over $1 billion in aid to students. So now that's the reason why I wear this suit. Because I have to sit in front of a lot of really important people right after this conversation to make sure that that money is still available year after year after year to make sure that your education is not outlined. I graduated college with over $105,000 in debt. $105,000. My monthly student loan payments, as I stand here before you, are just over $1,100. My mortgage payment, what I pay for my house, is roughly that, slightly more. So I basically have two houses with this one. We don't need that. Students who are from Louisiana who attend LSU, 2/3 of those students graduate with $0 in debt. Does anybody know how many colleges there are in the United States? Over 4,000, exactly. Just about 4,600, roughly. Well, there's only about 27 colleges that have the research portfolio of LSU, which puts LSU in the elite 1% of all universities in the world, particularly due to our research. But how that impacts you is that the teachers that are at LSU can teach anywhere in the world, but they choose to teach in the elite 1%. They choose to teach at LSU. And as I was talking to your teachers and counselors this morning, you know, over the last couple of years, LSU and Liberty have tried to really partner to ensure that students from this high school see themselves at LSU, academically and socially. I will be the first person to say, we've got a little bit of ways to go. That's not fully perfect, but we are getting better, and I'm committed to each and every one of you, watch us. Academically, we want to make sure that every single one of you is supported so that you can do undergraduate research as early as your freshman year. That you're able to study abroad, probably more realistically with the pandemic, post-2021. And to make sure that you're having hands-on learning experiences, like internships in your that align with your major as early as your freshman year. I'm the person at LSU that's responsible for your college application next year. So I'm the person that is reading your essay, looking at your activities, looking at what happens in the building, as well as what's happening in the classroom. Two of the most important pieces that sometimes students overlook that definitely helps in college is if today you have a part-time job, make sure you write that in your college application. That's such an important part to your life today. And there's a lot of skill sets that you're developing during that part-time job that sometimes we think we have to be a three-sport athlete or a member of National Honor Societies. And they are very important as well. but equally important is that part-time job or increased family responsibility. Having family or friends, extended family that you need to be responsible for and take care of. If you sit here today and those two pieces, make sure that that's part of your application and it's valuable. Just as if you're sitting here as the president of the junior class, or the freshman class, or the sophomore class, or a member of a sporting team. All that is key, because what we're looking for is students in college to ensure that you stay engaged. The last 3 years, LSU has recruited the most number of Louisiana students ever in LSU history. But quite intentionally, we are also recruiting students who are first in their family to go to college, students who are on free and reduced lunch, who are like me in high school, and students of color. Very intentionally. We want you to see LSU as an option. And at no point, whether you're a junior, freshman, or sophomore, you would have to feel like you have to make that decision at this point, or even at this point in your senior year. What you want to be able to do is have as many good options as possible, and then you're able to compare and contrast academically, financially, socially, distance away from home. And the best thing that could happen is that you have LSU as one of those options that you can contrast. But the biggest piece, and this is probably the biggest part of the whole slide, that I will want to make sure that we get back to the students, is my cell phone number. I want every student to be able to have direct access to me at any point in your high school career. Starting from freshman, sophomore, definitely junior. So if you want, you can definitely take it down. As I mentioned, I'll be the person reading your application, determining your scholarships, and then also assist current students at LSU, make sure that they have an easier time in college than I did. My cell phone number is area code 917-837-7014. I'm originally from New York City, so that's why it's not a 225 number. It's once again 917-837-7014. One more time, 917-837-7014. You know, in the short amount of time that I'm with you today, all I'm hoping for is to plant that seed. Reach out. If you want an exclusive campus tour, if you want to sit in on a class, if you want me to connect you with a faculty member or current students, I'm your person. At the bare minimum, I would also want to expose you to other colleges and universities across this great state, like Xavier, like Southern, like La Tech, like Tulane. But my best friends in the whole wide world have my job, and they're the directors of admissions at Rice University in Houston, Mr. David Williams, the director of admissions at UC Berkeley, Femi Ogunbelli, the director of admissions at Michigan, the University of Michigan, Ms. Erica Sanders, the director of admissions at the University of Delaware, and the director of admissions at UCLA are my best friends, not just friends. And so it's a privilege to be able to come this morning, and I recognize I didn't speak directly to the freshmen and sophomores sitting at home today, but what I want you to be able to know is that if you listen to your counselors and engage with your teachers every year, that is a key piece to your success. One of the things that I did on my own, and I didn't necessarily engage and ask for help. And that was where my biggest struggle was in college initially. So that's why I got my number down, because number one, I'm going to support the teachers and counselors here, and number two, I can help you think about what the college process and the college experience could look like for you, whether it's at LSU or at another great university. But just know that I would hope that you all go to college. You can definitely not just benefit your own life, but your family's lives and the community that you are a part of. And if you can have half the experience that I've had thus far, just trust me, it will be worth it. So thanks so much. Finish 2020 strong and definitely finish this academic year. And go Liberty.
All right, that was a lot of information. We will have this recording posted in your class's Google Classroom, as well as we're going to take Mr. Denigaro up on some of the things that he suggested as far as linking some of you guys as faculty members and going to the colleges, and just we're going to explore some more additional opportunities within that. So you guys can look for announcements in your class's Google Classroom. If you have not joined, please join your class's Google Classroom, as well as there's a Legera Google Classroom and an LFOS Google Classroom code that will go into your class's Google Classroom, and the presentation that we couldn't get today, that'll be there as well. So hopefully you guys are able to take away something from today. And then we'll have more opportunities throughout the school year for you guys to take part in, so you can make the best informed decision possible. So once again, thank you, Mr. Denigaro, for coming. If we can give him another round of applause. And so at this time, this is the end of the program. Before you leave, teachers, if you want to go ahead and get ready for your fifth period, juniors,